Listeners, this time we're really diving deep into a case you guys have been requesting a ton.
Yeah, this one's been tough to ignore.
The vanishing of Maura Murray.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those cases that just grabs you, right?
Absolutely grabs you and doesn't let go.
So we've got the listener request. We're looking at this podcast episode outline someone put together titled The Disappearance of Maura Murray.
Seems thorough.
And
at a glance.
Yeah, and just from a quick glance, yeah, it's got all the twists and turns, right? We're talking about a young nursing student vanished in 2004.
Yeah, 2004, like, it's not even that long ago, and
Yeah.
still so many questions.
Right, and that's what makes this so fascinating to me, I think, because it's like, we're not talking about the 1800s here. This is relatively recent, and yet, poof, gone without a trace.
And that's the thing that gets people hooked, isn't it? This idea that someone can just disappear in this day and age.
It's like something out of a movie.
It really is, except this is real life with real consequences, and that's what we're going to try to unpack today.
Exactly. So, who was Maura Murray? I mean, before February 9, 2004.
Right, because that's always the key, isn't it? Getting to know the person behind the headline.
Totally. So nursing student, obviously, but what else? Like, what kind of person was she? What was she into? What were her dreams?
Exactly, because in these kinds of cases, understanding the person is just as important as understanding the events.
Yeah. Was there something in her life that could help explain what happened?
Well, and that's the question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to be careful here. We're not trying to jump to conclusions, just trying to get a full picture of her life before.
Yeah, right. Of course, not just trying to understand the context.
Exactly, the context, because that's where we might find clues.
Okay, so context then. So it's February 9th, 2004, and Maura emails her professor saying there's a family emergency and she has to head home.
Which they later couldn't corroborate, by the way.
Right, exactly. So already there's a red flag right there. But then she drives up to the White Mountains in New Hampshire, and that's where things get really strange.
So her car's found right after an accident.
Yeah, not just any accident, though, right? Like, it was weird.
Oh, totally. The engine's, the keys are in the ignition, and there's a box of wine in the back seat.
Wait, a box of wine? Like, unopened?
Unopened, yeah. So you kind of wonder what was going on there.
Seriously, and no Maura.
Nope, gone.
Like, she just vanished in the thin air.
That's what it looks like at first glance.
Right.
But then you dig a little deeper.
And
things get even weirder.
how so?
Well, everyone focuses on the car, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense, it's the last place she was seen.
Yeah.
But what's found inside the vehicle is almost more perplexing.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So according to the police reports, the windshield was cracked. Get this, from the inside.
What? No way.
Yeah, and there was this spilled bottle of liquid. Later, they figured out it was alcohol.
Okay. That's strange. But, I mean, accidents happen. Maybe she panicked.
Maybe, but here's the kicker. The car's airbags, they didn't deploy in the crash, which you'd expect.
Yeah, so maybe they were faulty.
Nope, they had been manually disabled before the crash.
Hold on, wait. You're saying someone messed with her car before the accident?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Was she running from something? Or did someone tamper with her car beforehand?
I mean, that changes everything.
It does, and that's where understanding Maura becomes even more crucial.
Right, so this wasn't just a random accident.
Exactly. This is where the case really takes that turn into the unusual.
Okay, so let's talk about Maura then. Like you were saying, she wasn't just a name in a police report. She was a person, right? With a life and, complexity.
Absolutely. She was young. She had a whole life ahead of her.
And she was an athlete too, right? Like a track star in high school?
Yeah, she excelled at everything she did.
So what happened? Was there something going on in her life, some kind of pressure or secret that could explain what happened?
Again, it's important to be careful about jumping to conclusions,
Mm-hmm.
but we do know she was disciplined at school recently for allegedly using a stolen credit card.
Okay, so maybe some trouble there. And then there's that email to her professors about the family emergency.
Which her family knew nothing about.
Right, so something was definitely up in her life. But would that lead someone to stage their own disappearance? It seems extreme.
It's possible, right? Maybe she felt trapped, needed a way out. But then the logistics of it?
Yeah, if she planned it, how did she vanish without a trace from a remote mountain road in the middle of nowhere? Did someone pick her up?
And if so, who?
Which leads to the other big theory, right? Foul play.
Unfortunately, we can't rule it out.
I mean, could someone have hurt her? Was this more than just a car accident gone wrong?
And here's the thing. The initial investigation was hampered by delays, and some might argue missteps.
Really?
Yeah, so it didn't do much to quell the speculation.
Which honestly is understandable in a case like this, right?
Absolutely. It's high profile. There's so many unknowns. People want answers. And when the official channels don't have them,
The rumor mill starts churning.
Exactly, and that's what happened here.
Hmm.
It's the perfect breeding ground for speculation and theories.
So you've got the official investigation, which, let's be honest, seems to have hit a wall. And then you have this whole online community dedicated to cracking the case.
Which, can be both a good and a bad thing.
Oh, absolutely. Because on one hand, you've got people offering possible explanations, looking at the evidence from different angles, which can